जलसाए सालाना तेरी
अहमदियत कौम अहमद के निशान तुझ पे कट मरने को है तैयार तेरे पासबां
है लिवाए अहमदियत कौम अहमद के निशान
तुझ पे कट मरने को है तैयार तेरे पासबां लिवाए अहमदियत कौम अहमद के निशान तुझ पे कट मरने को है तैयार तेरे पासबां मर्दो जन पीरो जवान
तुझ पे कुर्बा ये गरो है आशिकां
मर्दो जन पीरो जवान
तुझ पे कुर्बा ये गरो है आशिकां
लिवाए अहमदियत कौम अहमद के निशान तुझ पे कट मरने को है तैयार तेरे पासबां ऐ खुदा के नाम पर जिंदा जमाअत के अलम तेरे साए के तले आएंगे शाहाने जहां
तेरे साए के तले आएंगे शाहाने जहां
आके पाएंगे अमान
है ये तकदीरे खुदाए दो जहां
आके पाएंगे अमान
है ये तकदीरे खुदाए दो जहां
लिवाए अहमदियत कौम अहमद के निशान तुझ पे कट मरने को है तैयार तेरे पासबां नूर अफशा होंगे आलम पर तेरे बदरो हिलाल और ये मीनार बैजा होगा हर सूज़ो फशां
और ये मीनार बैजा होगा हर सूज़ो फशां
जलवगाहे कुदसिया
एक दिन बन जाएगा सारा जहां
जलवगाहे कुदसिया
एक दिन बन जाएगा सारा जहां
ऐ लिवाए अहमदियत कौम अहमद के निशान तुझ पे कट मरने को है तैयार तेरे पासबां लेके जाऊंगा मैं दुनिया के किनारों तक तुझे मुश्किलें इस राह की मुझ पर अगरचे है आया
मुश्किलें इस राह की मुझ पर अगरचे हैं
आया काट कर को है गरा
चीर कर जाऊंगा बहरे बेकरार
काट कर को है गरा
चीर कर जाऊंगा बहरे बेकरार
ऐ लिवाए अहमदियत कौम अहमद के निशान تجھ پہ کٹ مرنے کو ہے تیار تیرے پاسباں عہد یہ کرتا ہوں میں جب تک ہے میرے تن میں جان سر نگوں ہونے نہ دوں گا تجھ کو زیر آسمان
سر نگوں ہونے نہ دوں گا تجھ کو زیر آسمان
اے میرے قومی نشان
تجھ پہ قربائے گروہ عاشقان
اے میرے قومی نشان
تجھ پہ قربائے گروہ عاشقان
اے لوائے احمدیت قوم احمد کے نشان تجھ پہ کٹ مرنے کو ہے تیار تیرے پاسباں اے لوائے احمدیت قوم احمد کے نشان تجھ پہ کٹ مرنے کو ہے تیار تیرے پاسباں مرد و زن پیر و جوان
تجھ پہ قربائے گروہ عاشقان
مرد و زن پیر و جوان
تجھ پہ قربائے گروہ عاشقان
اے لوائے احمدیت قوم احمد کے نشان تجھ پہ کٹ مرنے کو ہے تیار تیرے پاسباں قوم احمد کے نشان قوم احمد کے نشان قوم احمد کے نشان قوم احمد کے نشان قوم احمد کے نشان
قوم احمد کے نشان.
Assalamu alaikum. May peace be upon you. This special session.
السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ. اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. سبح للہ ما فی السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم. له ملك السماوات والأرض يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. هو الأول والآخر والظاهر والباطن وهو بكل شيء عليم. هو الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام ثم استوى على العرش يعلم ما يلج في الأرض وما يخرج منها وما ينزل من السماء
أنتم والله بما تعملون بصير له ملك السماوات والأرض وإلى الله ترجع الأمور يولج الليل في النهار ويولج النهار في الليل وهو عليم بذات الصدور آمنوا بالله ورسوله وأنفقوا مما جعلكم مستخلفين فيه فالذين آمنوا منكم وأنفقوا لهم أجر كبير.
Mr. Hanif Maslan will give us a translation of the verses that have been recited.
Assalamu alaikum. Traduction, versets 1 à 8 de Surah Al-Hadid, chapitre 57 du Saint-Coran. Avec nous Allah, celui qui montrait sa grâce sans limite, qui donnait sans qu'il demande, celui qui est bien miséricordieux. Tout ce qui demande les ciels et l'eau la terre, célébrer sainteté Allah. Et lui-même, les tout-puissant, les bien sage. Pour lui, royaume ban les ciels et la terre. Et lui donne la vie et lui cause la mort. Et lui a pouvoir pour faire tout ce qu'il voulait. Lui-même qui premier et qui dernier, et qui manifeste et qui reste caché. Et lui-même comme tout quelque chose vient. Lui-même qui fin créer ban les ciels et la terre dans 6 périodes. Ensuite, il fin établi le trône là. Il connaît ce qui rentre dans la terre et ce qui sortit depuis là-dedans, et ce qui descend depuis dans les ciels et ce qui monte là-dedans. Et il y a avec eux que eux étaient. Et Allah trouve bien tout ce qu'ils ont faire. Pour lui, royaume, ban les ciels et la terre. Et vers Allah qui pourrait retourner toutes affaires. Il fait la nuit rentre dans les eaux, et il fait les eaux rentre dans la nuit. Et il connaît bien ce qui est dans la poitrine. Croire dans Allah et ce messager, et dépense de chemin Allah, depuis de ce qu'il fait faire eux héritier. Et dans eux, ban qui croient et qui dépensent, ban là pour gagner une grande récompense.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. On behalf of the President and the members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, I have pleasure in welcoming all our guests in this special session of our 53rd Jalsa Salana or annual gathering. Our chief guest for this session is not yet present among us. He is Vice Prime Minister Anil Bechu. He has sent word that he will be joining us later on. During this session today, we are going to hear messages from some of our guests. We will have an address from our chief guest and a concluding address by the President of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community of Mauritius. Honorable Bechu has also kindly accepted to launch a book that has been written by our Caliph, Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad. The title of the book is World Crisis and the Pathway to Peace. So the launching ceremony will also happen during this session. For now, Mr. Moiz Sukia is going to recite a poem in Urdu. Moiz.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you. I'm going to recite a poem in Urdu written by Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad alayhi salam, the holy founder of the Ahmadiyya Jamaat in Islam. Bismillah ar-Rahman
ہے شکر رب عزا و جل خارج از بیان ہے شکر رب عزا و جل خارج از بیان جس کے کلام سے ہمیں اس کا ملا نشان کیا زندگی کا ذوق اگر وہ نہیں ملا کیا زندگی کا ذوق اگر وہ نہیں ملا لعنت ہے ایسے جینے پہ گر اس سے ہے جدا لعنت ہے ایسے جینے پہ گر اس سے ہے جدا جو کچھ میری مراد تھی سب کچھ دکھا دیا جو کچھ میری مراد تھی سب کچھ دکھا دیا میں ایک غریب تھا مجھے بے انتہا دیا میں ایک غریب تھا مجھے بے انتہا دیا ایک قطرہ اس کے فضل نے دریا بنا دیا ایک قطرہ اس کے فضل نے دریا بنا دیا میں خاک تھا اسی نے سریا بنا دیا میں خاک تھا اسی نے سریا بنا دیا میں تھا غریب و بے کسو گمنام بے ہنر میں تھا غریب و بے کسو گمنام بے ہنر کوئی نہ جانتا تھا کہ ہے قادیاں کدھر کوئی نہ جانتا تھا کہ ہے قادیاں کدھر لوگوں کس طرف کو ذرا بھی نظر نہ تھی لوگوں کس طرف کو ذرا بھی نظر نہ تھی میرے وجود کی بھی کسی کو خبر نہ تھی میرے وجود کی بھی کسی کو خبر نہ تھی اب دیکھتے ہو کیسا رجوع جہاں ہوا اب دیکھتے ہو کیسا رجوع جہاں ہوا ایک مرجع خواص یہی قادیاں ہوا ایک مرجع خواص یہی قادیاں ہوا ہے شکر ربی عز و جل خارج از بیان جس کے کلام سے ہمیں اس کا ملا نشان
آمین.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged to have among us today many distinguished personalities, some of whom have agreed to address us a message. And since this event is being hosted in the town of Portly, I will invite Madame, the Mayor of the Municipal Council of Portly, Madame Doreen Chokori, to address us a message.
Honorable Gaston Benoiri, Minister of Education, Honorable Suren Dayal, Minister of Social Integration, Honorable Pravin Jatnat, Leader of the Opposition, members of the National Assembly, the President and members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association, distinguished guests, good afternoon. It is a pleasure for me to be with you today at this 53rd annual convention of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association. I would like to thank the organizing committee for providing me with this opportunity to be part of such an important event, which aims at promoting mutual understanding, spiritual knowledge, and progress among the Ahmadis, as well as peace and harmony. All these objectives are at the heart of this gathering, to support the Ahmadiyya Muslim community's motto, that is, love for all, hatred for none. In our multicultural society, where different religions coexist, we should indeed strive to promote the mutual understanding of our faith and share our common values. I am sure that through its annual convention, the Ahmadiyya community will be able to reaffirm its well-known qualities, such as tolerance, generosity, sympathy, and mutual respect. All members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association will, without doubt, contribute to the peaceful living of the City Council of Port Louis and the social harmony of our country. As Lord Mayor of Port Louis, I wish you all the best for your convention. I know that you will all be blessed through the exchange of ideas and strengthening of fraternal ties. Thank you very much for your attention.
I'll now invite Minister Banwari to give us his message.
My colleague, Surendra Dayal, Minister for Social Integration, the Mayor of the City of Port Louis, Mrs. Doreen Chakuri, Mr. Honorable Pravin Jagannath, Leader of the Opposition, Mr. President of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association of Mauritius, distinguished guests, all protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed with much pleasure that I am addressing you this afternoon on this special occasion of your annual convention. I remember having been here sometime in the past, and to be present among you and deliver a short message. I wish to congratulate all the organizers for this laudable initiative. In fact, in this Jalsa, we come, as I can understand, not so much for meeting people, but for participating in the Jalsa. Participating in all the sense of the word according to the program wheel. And I hope, and I'm almost sure, that most of you have come for the 3 days. This is what is asked for you. We are coming only to deliver the message, but I'm sure I'll take all pains necessary to be able to know what has been going on during the whole of your conference. In fact, Mauritius is, as has just been mentioned by Her Worship the Mayor of Port Louis, a multicultural, multilinguistic, and multi-religious society. We have lived in peace and harmony, and we continue to do so. And this is one of the greatest treasure, I must say, of the Mauritian society. And we should always aim at organizing such conferences where one component of the multicultural society today, and another day it will be another component for another component of the multicultural society, to try to show to ourselves first, to yourselves first, and to others living together in peace and harmony in this country, what we can offer, what the other one can offer. In fact, we often boast ourselves, especially as politicians, I must say, that we work for national unity, for national solidarity, and we always aim at doing good things. We must treasure this peace and harmony between the various components of our society. But I personally believe it's not only the political parties in their messages that aim at that and that succeed in it, but it's probably more because we have so many components in our society, and each one in its own way, from early January till late December, we keep organizing, be they festivals, be they religious ceremonies, be they cultural activities, or conventions like this one, which is more rich in itself. We keep doing it from January to December. And I always say to my people in my constituency, I don't think God or Allah could be deaf, sourd, ne pas entendre ce qu'on dit. I don't think. God listens to us and is witnessing. And it is because of these prayers from all components of this society that I believe the stability reigns in our country, and we boast ourselves of being an example in the world. So I can only congratulate you and wish that you continue on that line. And before ending, I will tell you that we have started, I'm the Minister of Education, as you know. We have started in schools since this year, early January, what we have called intercultural or interfaith education. And very recently, I was in Champ-de-Mars, not Champ-de-Mars, yes, almost in Champ-de-Mars, but an activity organized by the Conseil de Religion de l'île Maurice. And I told them that day, after having spoken, in fact at the end of my speech, that that day was le jour le plus beau de ma vie. That is the day which I cherished the most. I'm sorry because I see members of the National Assembly in front of me, didn't address them. Le jour le plus beau de ma vie. The most beautiful day of my life. Because in fact, they were professing what we in the schools are trying to put into practice. Intercultural education and intercultural faith education. Interfaith education. Which means that we want our children to grow up in knowing that they have their religion and their culture which has to continue, and where the family is more importantly involved. But there is also the culture and the religion of others living by their side. And they should know also a few glimpses of the religions of others. So we teach that in the schools as from this year. And I appealed to the Conseil de Religion to help me in getting the resource persons, in getting the necessary texts that are needed, because we have worked it our way. And in fact, before the end of the year, we are calling a forum for them to analyze the texts that we are using in the schools and to bring in whatever they can as input. And therefore, with these few words, I hope you've got my message, 5/5, comme on dit. I am very happy that you are organizing your convention with so much zeal and so well attended. I would like to get an idea of all that has been, a glimpse of all what has been going on during your conference, the main conclusions you have reached, so that I could also inspire myself as Minister of Education of our country to see in what way we can use these messages for the children of our country. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Minister Banwari, for these words of wisdom. Among us tonight is Honorable Surendra Dayal, who is the Minister of Social Integration and Economic Empowerment. I have pleasure in welcoming him to our Jalsa Salana and in requesting him to address us.
Honorable Vasant Kumar Banwari, Minister of Education, Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Pravin Jagnnath, members of the Legislative Assembly, President and members of the Ahmadiyya Society, distinguished guests, a very good afternoon to you. Once again, I should like to thank you for having invited me to attend this function. And let me place on record my appreciation for the good work you've been doing and I've been associated with since quite a long time. I'm very grateful, and it gave me opportunity to learn many things and sort of trying to put into practice along with my friends, and quite helpful to me in delivering the goods in my ministry. With your kind permission, I should like to shift to Urdu and Creole, if you kindly allow me, because I want my message to go through. There is something which I admire and appreciate very much, the mindset. As we say, destin dans la main, and this is very well translated with a saying in Urdu, and I should like to say it here. खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना, खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछे बता तेरी रज़ा क्या है. Here it's demonstrate that you have to take your destiny in your hand, and how you go about it through education. Like this convention which we are having, the 53rd Jalsa Salana, that is being held here. And I got the opportunity while sitting here to read a little bit of it. It's laudable, great, and this is what we require in Mauritius. Values. Values first and foremost. And I'm glad that my colleague, Dr. Banwari, has introduced it in our school system. And this is with the shift, what we say with the passing of time, the march of time. More and more, we see that people are going towards materialism, ego, selfishness. And here, I have been here on several occasions, and in the functions which you organize, it's so good. And reading all these small quotations, it's so good, I say, something to emulate, to copy, and I'm very proud. And I'm very thankful that you do invite me here. Chers amis, on a eu l'occasion d'assister beaucoup à une fonction pour la société, la même de tout, love for all, hatred for none. Et Gandhi dit, love all, hate none. Et moi, je peux dire que je suis fier de né dans Maurice, dans Maurice. Que tout le monde a eu l'occasion de côtoyer toutes les grandes religions du monde. Dans l'endroit même, nous avons les hindous, les musulmans, les chrétiens, comment nous côtoyer. Nous avons grandi, mon papier de naissance. Mon papa prend un musulman comme témoin. C'est l'île Maurice merveilleux, l'île Maurice extraordinaire. Et c'est ça qui fait la beauté de l'île Maurice. Et c'est ça qui nous besoin préserver. Et ça qui tient fleuri dans cette façon. Et ça qui amène richesse nos pays. Je remercie la société Ahmadiyya pour le bon travail qu'il peut faire. Et je souhaite beaucoup de succès in your convention. I thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you, Minister Dayal. Here among us in this gathering, not only do we have cultural diversity, but we also have political diversity. Indeed, we are honored to have among us tonight the Honorable Pravin Kumar Jagnat, the leader of the opposition, who has kindly accepted to address our Jalsa Salana. Honorable Jagnat.
The President and the members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association Mauritius, the Lord Mayor of the City Council of Port Louis, Honorable Ministers, a Honorable colleague member of the National Assembly, Honorable the Mayor of Catrabon and the President of the District Council of Mocha, and the distinguished guests present, and all sisters and brothers of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community gathered here. It is indeed a great pleasure for me, and a privilege, in fact, to address you a few words on the occasion of the 53rd Annual Convention of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association of Mauritius. In fact, it is my first official speech at the public function as leader of the opposition since I have been appointed by the President of the Republic of Mauritius. And I think it could not be a better opportunity and a better venue for my maiden speech as leader of the opposition. I say that because I am fully conscious that I'm amongst people whose faith and religion are love for all, peace, justice and equality, liberty and interfaith harmony, and loyalty to the motherland. These are the principles cherished by the Ahmadiyya Muslim community worldwide and are worth to be praised of. Such principles inevitably lead to successful, peaceful, and harmonious living. The more so in a plural society like ours. And I seize this opportunity to congratulate all of you, the Ahmadiyya citizens of Mauritius, who have so impressively integrated the Mauritian rainbow and who are resolutely contributing in shaping a better Mauritius. Ladies and gentlemen, I have read with utmost attention a few of the speeches of Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, the fifth Caliph of Ahmadiyya, who is the current head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community worldwide. I retain one sentence of his speech delivered in Los Angeles on the 11th of May 2013, where the Caliphate said, and I quote, "I believe in one God who is the Lord of all nations, all races and all religions, and so it becomes impossible that I could ever develop any hatred in my heart for any nation, any race, or any religion." End of quote. Now this is, to me, a true message of universal love and tolerance that must serve as an inspiration to counter widespread conflict and hatred that have permeated all parts of the world. As a politician, I can weigh the importance of interfaith harmony for social stability and socio-economic progress. That's why I have retained and judged it quite right to quote your Calipha's speech relating to universal love. Another principle of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community which I share is the commitment to alleviate poverty. I have seen that Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad places much emphasis on the sharing with the poor, which is one of the pillars of Islam and other religions as well. In our country today, it is unfortunate that poverty has reached dramatic proportions. We have to act urgently to tackle this problem as no society, no government can claim there is modernization if people are not living in the right and appropriate conditions. Like you have made of the fight against poverty one of your life mission, I am totally committed to combat poverty. It is one of my political missions, and I look forward to deliver on this front with the blessing of the people. While reading the speeches of your Khalifa, I have also come across his appeals in favor of the respect for human rights. On this front as well, we need to be vigilant, as we have been witnessing lately quite a number of alarm signals and events as well. For example, one which is right in the limelight actually, the stalking of fingerprints and biometric photographies of individuals in a database that can be used against those same individuals is, to me, is a big blow against human rights. Civil liberties are at stake, and we need to take stock of what is happening and to react accordingly to preserve human rights that are guaranteed in our Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, I also fully endorse your commitment towards education for all, which is a powerful weapon to fight poverty. I'm fully committed to not only ensure that each and every children in our country gets the best possible education, but also create avenues and opportunities for our youngsters to get a job and earn an accomplished living. I share the views of your respected messiahs on democracy, and here it would be most appropriate, again, for me to quote Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad once more. He rightly said in a meeting with former Norwegian Prime Minister Bondevik on the 22nd of July 2011 that, and I quote, "For democracy to truly succeed, it is essential that democracy is accepted, not just in name, but also in spirit." End of quote. We need to reflect carefully on this message when we take stock of what is happening with our own democracy. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a country where the contribution of each and every community in nation building forms part of our pride and wealth. And I have always said that every community has its place in our rainbow nation, and that equal consideration has to be given to each one of them. I reiterate my commitment to ensure that each and every community continues to get its share of the national cake and fulfills its aspirations while preserving on the sense of time. I wish you all a very fruitful convention. I sincerely hope that this, as in the previous years, congressional gatherings will strengthen, first of all, the fraternal ties amongst you all and amongst all of us living in this country. I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jagannath. There is a slight modification in our program in that Honorable Bechu has sent us a message that unfortunately you won't be able to make it, and Minister Banwari has kindly accepted to do the official launching of the book in his stead. Before we proceed with the ceremony of the launching of the book, I'd just like to comment that wherever we direct our sight today in the world, we see hatred, conflict, violence, terrorism, war among nations or within nations. And it is appropriate, fitting that the leader of a global religious community should give his views about this subject. And indeed, this is what our Caliph has done in his book, The Global Crisis, A Pathway to Peace. Before we launch the book, I would ask Mr. Mubarak Budan to give us a synopsis of the author and of the book. Mubarak.
Honorable Ministers, ladies and gentlemen, President of the session, Amir Sahib, my job is to present you the oath and say a few words about him. It's an honor for me to introduce to you His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad Khalifatul Masih V, who is the supreme head of the worldwide Ahmadiyya Muslim community. He is the fifth successor of the promised Messiah and reformer, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad of Qadian. His Holiness was born on September 15, 1950 in Rabwa, Pakistan, to the late Mirza Mansoor Ahmad and the late Nasira Begum Ahmad. Upon completing his master's degree in agricultural economics in 1977 from the Agriculture University of Faisalabad, Pakistan, he formally dedicated his life to the service of Islam. Then he went to Ghana in 1977, where for several years he served as a principal of various Ahmadiyya Muslim schools. He helped to inaugurate the Ahmadiyya Muslim School, Secondary School, Salaga, where he served as principal for the school's first 2 years. Since he has been elected Khalifa on the 22nd of April 2003, His Holiness serves as a worldwide spiritual and administrative head of an international religious organization with tens of millions of members spread across more than 200 countries. His Holiness strives to establish peace at every level of society. He constantly advises members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community to carry out a jihad or struggle of the self to strive to reform individually, which is the true and biggest form of jihad, so that every Ahmadi Muslim can establish peace on an individual level, first of all, and then be enabled to help others also find peace. So he gives the same message to all others. In response to a question relating to peace building by a non-Muslim guest at a special reception in Melbourne, His Holiness said, "If you have peace in you, it means that you are projecting peace, and in every one of us had peace. It means, and if every one of us had peace, it means that you would be projecting peace to others." The book, which is a compilation of his speeches at various places and also comprising a series of letters which have been addressed to world leaders, I'll just read an extract of the speech of the letter which was addressed to President Barack Obama, the President of the United States of America. In the letter dated 8th of March 2012, His Holiness states, "There is currently great agitation and restlessness in the world. Small-scale wars have broken out in certain areas. Unfortunately, the superpowers have not been as successful as was anticipated in their efforts to establish peace in these conflict-hit regions. Globally, we find that almost every country is engaged in activities to either support or oppose other countries. However, the requirements of justice are not being fulfilled. It is with regret that if we now observe the current circumstances of the world, we find that the foundation for another world war has already been laid. As so many countries, both large and small, have nuclear weapons, grudges and hostilities are increasing between nations. In such a predicament, the Third World War looms almost certainly before us. Such a war would surely involve atomic warfare, and therefore we are witnessing the world head towards a terrifying destruction. If a path of equity and justice had been followed after the Second World War, we would not be witnessing the current state of the world today, whereby it has become engulfed in the flames of war once again, unquote. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the words of a man of peace, and it was my pleasure to present him to you today. Thank you very much.
I will now request Honorable Banwari to kindly step forward for the official launching of the book. Now we're going to have the concluding address of our President, Mr. Musa Tuju.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Honorable Lord Mayor of Port Louis, Honorable Minister Banwari, Honorable Minister Surendalai Dayal, Honorable Pravin Jagnat, Leader of the Opposition, the Honorable Mayor of Quatre-Bornes, Honorable Members of the National Assembly, all protocol respected, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to welcome and thank our guests for attending this event. It is with great pleasure that we have you with us this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ahmadiyya Muslim community is a small community. It is the standard bearer of and representative of the true teachings of Islam. The Islam that was practiced by the founder of Islam, Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be on him. Every Ahmadi, wherever he may be, is an extremely loyal, peaceful, law-abiding citizen who loves his country, be it Mauritius or anywhere in the 206 countries where the community is established. This is because our beloved Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be on him, instructed us that the love for one's country is an integral part of one's faith. The teachings of Islam have been further elaborated and emphasized by the founder of the Ahmadiyya community, whom we believe to be the promised Messiah and reformer of this age. He conveyed to us the beautiful teachings of Islam that can establish peace in the world. Among the problems today, one problem has arisen, if not directly, then indirectly, because of religion. Some groups of people who call themselves Muslim do not have proper understanding of Islam, and they use unlawful means and suicide bombing in the name of religion to kill and harm non-Muslim, including killing indiscriminately soldiers and innocent civilians, and at the same time to brutally kill innocent Muslims and children. Thus, these horrible acts and crimes against humanity committed by certain groups of Muslims in Africa and the Middle East are totally unacceptable and have not even a remote connection with Islam. On the contrary, they remind us of the atrocities committed against the early Muslims in Africa, in Arabia. They were made to lie on burning coal because they had accepted Islam. Muslim women were pierced with lancers in their private parts, and some were tied to 2 camels, which were then made to run in opposite direction. The Holy Prophet, peace be on him, was exiled with his followers and ostracized in a valley outside Mecca for 2.5 years and they suffered from shortage of food and other essentials. After all the sufferings of the Muslims decided to migrate to Medina. Even then, they were attacked. Muslims were stopped from going to Mecca to perform pilgrimage. Despite all these inhuman acts, Muslims were enjoined not to react in similar fashion. And although they were victims of many cruelties, when they entered victorious in Mecca, they were told to forget the past. They were told that you are victorious now, therefore forget all enmities and fear Allah, because Allah wants to spread peace in the world, and He is a creator who should be worshipped. Muslims were told not to indulge in any excesses, but to use piety and goodness to establish peace and to enhance cooperation. The holy founder of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community said that by announcing his claim, God Almighty has placed two burdens upon him. One is the right of God, that is our duties and obligations towards God Almighty, and the other is the right of God's creation, that is our duties towards our fellow human beings. He went on to say that discharging the rights of God's creation was the most difficult and delicate challenge. The institution of Khilafat that had been established after the promised Messiah in 1908 has the sole objective to perpetuate and continue the mission of the Messiah and Mahdi, accomplish our obligation towards God and our obligation towards our fellow human beings. This Khilafat draws the attention of members of the community towards fulfilling these two obligations for which the promised Messiah came, and as a result, there is absolutely no reason to fear the Khilafat. In response to acute persecution that the Ahmadiyya Muslim community is being subjected to, especially in Pakistan, the reaction of the community under the guidance of its Khalifa is one of non-violence, patience, and prayer. It is this response that has won our beloved Khalifa the title of a man of peace. Wherever he goes, leaders of nations seek his advice, guidance, and prayers. Deeply troubled by the growing international tensions, he has written to heads of state of major countries, urging them to inculcate a true sense of justice and peace in international relations. He has delivered historic addresses at the New Zealand National Parliament, the UK House of Commons, the European Parliament, and the Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. The addresses that he has made have been compiled in a book published, World Crisis and a Pathway to Peace, that the Honorable Minister has just officially launched. Indeed, the community's advocacy of the peaceful message of Islam is enshrined in a special bipartisan U.S. congressional resolution in honor of our beloved Khalifa, the introductory paragraph of which reads, I quote, welcoming His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, the worldwide spiritual and administrative head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, to Washington, D.C., and recognizing his commitment to world peace, justice, non-violence, human rights, religious freedom, and democracy, unquote. We Ahmadi Muslims believe that God Almighty has always sent His messengers and reformers in this world to bring people nearer to God and return to the people the rights of human beings. And in this age also, according to the prophecies of the Holy Prophet of Islam, peace be on him, and past prophet, peace be on them all, God Almighty has sent Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, whom we believe to be the Messiah and Mahdi, to this world to fulfill this mission. The voice that was raised more than 100 years ago in a small town in Punjab, in India, has reached 206 countries of the world, and his followers are in millions. This could not have happened without the divine assistance, along with its effort to bring man nearer to its creator, the Ahmadiyya Muslim community is serving mankind by fulfilling the medical, educational, and other financial requirements of the needy. In poor countries of Africa and elsewhere, the community is helping with hospitals and schools and is trying to provide water and electricity in these regions free of any cost to the poor. Closer to us, in Madagascar, which falls under the jurisdiction of the Mauritius branch of the community, we run a school in a poor area of Antananarivo, irrespective of race, religion, or nationality. The Ahmadiyya Muslim community has been and is trying to provide assistance to the victims of natural disasters like earthquakes, tsunamis, floods, without any ulterior motives. It is difficult to go into the details. It is worth noting that these expenses of the community incurs are not obtained from businesses, from factories, or oil revenues. It is collected from every member of the community who reduces his own expenses to contribute toward the services for gaining the sheer love and nearness of Allah. All this is being done to bring humanity nearer to its Creator and thus fulfill the mission of the founder of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. We will continue relentlessly our efforts to promote love for all and hatred for none. With the help of God Almighty, the incomparably great, the Ahmadiyya Muslim community will continue to build bridges. We will continue to promote love and compassion, absolute justice and fairness. We will continue to practice and promote self-reformation that the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be on him, has qualified as the greatest jihad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa barik wa sallim innaka Hamidum Majid. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And as this is a practice in our function, we always end with a silent prayer. I will just lead a silent prayer, and all our guests can pray in their own words. Let's have a prayer. Dua now. Allahumma ameen.
This concludes our session. Thank you very much.
लिवाए अहमदियत कौम अहमद के निशान तुझ पे कट मरने को है तैयार तेरे पासबां
है लिवाए अहमदियत कौम अहमद के निशान
तुझ पे कट मरने को है तैयार तेरे पासबां है लिवाए अहमदियत कौम अहमद के निशान तुझ पे कट मरने को है तैयार तेरे पासबां मर्दो जन पीरो जवान
तुझ पे कुर्बा ये गरो है आशिकां
मर्दो जन पीरो जवान
तुझ पे कुर्बा ये गरो है आशिकां
लिवाए अहमदियत कौम अहमद के निशान के